No, it's looking for game to capture. That's what it says.
Right.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. It is coming up. There we go. It's got it. So, coolio. Right then. If that is, we are ready. Oh, hang on. It just went off again. If you hit on F1, it should come back on.
All right.
There you go. If you hit off escape now,
Oh yeah.
it is
Okay.
working.
So every time I
Right then.
alt tab, it's just.
It's a bug with F1 that always happens,
Uh,
and it's really annoying all the time. So I wish they would fix it, but half the time they don't, because it's you know, it's F1.
yep.
But cool then. There we go. So welcome, well, to the first race on F1 2020 for DMR, and we kick off in Australia for the no assist here. And well, after the final race in you know, Brazil, where the championship was decided literally on the finish line, I hope we can get another battle like that this season. But here we are, 20 drivers all battling it out for the title of the no assist tier champion, and let's hope they give us a good show to kick us off in Australia down under, and we get a race this season. There's going to be a full 22 race calendar, along with well, new stops in Vietnam. Zandvoort going to be challenging these drivers, because actually as well the length of the calendar is going to come into play this season, so it'll be interesting to see. And well, let's see what these guys have got going into race one. Joining me today in the commentary booth is Mr. Itax, who's kindly stepped in at the last minute as well, and he's on the camera. And if he's there,
Yes. Hello.
and it's returning to the commentary booth. I think it's the first time we've actually done this since Austria. So it's going to be good to get back into the room with this. But anyway, let's get into Australia and let's see what everyone does as they begin their first lap. So we've got a few new drivers in the no assist here as well, looking to make their mark. We've got Gary and Luke, well, Mr. Vexit as I shall call him, returning from last season. Gary looking to defend his title as he took Vex all the way down to the final race in Brazil, so it'll be mainly keeping an eye on them two and how they do in this race. But if you think about F1 2020, it's a new game each year, and it has a few surprises, and like it suits some drivers better than others. Like we was having a discussion about this before we came onto the commentary, and like the throttle applications like a lot better now than certainly on the curbs in some areas. Like I remember like you saying a few weeks ago, like you was gonna give up on the game, and then suddenly this game comes out, you're like, yes, it's the best thing that to ever happen in the world. But like, what are some of the changes you've noticed in this game compared to the last one?
Well, you have more traction on the axis of the corners, of course, and less kind of less understeering, and just
Yeah,
you have more control over the car and actually feel you're connected to the track.
yeah. I mean, like, because I think everyone's been doing a lot of Australia. I think it's easy to say that, like your point about there being a lot more on the track. It honestly feels more immersive as well. Like there's more of a free flow to the car on the track, and it's just feels so much more planted. But like you said, there we go. Sorry, I was got interrupted by the time, but I'll go back to it in a second. But like you said, it feels so much more flowing in Australia. That's like a really good example of what you expect in the flowing of a track. And as we like ride on board now with Gary, as I'm just watching him, he's on a controller actually. I think is Gary on a controller? I can't remember, but I think he is. But let's see how he does. Like you can just watch him coming through the sector 3. Like he's on a lot more flowing, but I think Gary might have got a bit impeded here by Hardcore, because Hardcore might have actually been on a lap as well, so I don't think that helped Gary one bit. So let's see where Gary does. And I think he's not going to be setting the lap that he wants. He's going to set a 121 by the look of it, 120.7. So Gary possibly going to be able to set a lot more time in this. So let's see how he does. But at the minute, a few guys setting laps on the mediums. But you know, we'll see how this does. But speaking of like returning drivers and new faces, speaking of that, got Mr. Chris on pole at the provisional pole at the minute with a 120.4. Chris, returned halfway through of last season and has been doing the trade. He's traded in tier 3 last season before then stepping up to the no assist tier this season, trying to go full no assists, because before it was using line, and well, it looks like that practice he's been putting in the off season is coming into hand. And as well, Luxury already into P2 was very fast last season when he joined halfway through, and looks like he's doing well. But it's great to see a few new guys, but also on their debuts is Slim and Mr. 47, which will be interesting to do, as well as F1 Simvids in the Alpha Tauri. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this grid does. But we are going probably through the first stage quali now, so we'll see how the rest of the grid forms up. But speaking of that, we do have no rain in Australia, which is, well, not a surprise, since yes, and yes, I am waiting for what Mr. Bug Game says. We actually do have the live chat up for, so it'll be interesting to see. But hey, let's see how we go on. Whew. Right. Where do we actually go from here in terms of everything on like the commentary? We've got Velocity on a lap right now. Hang on, is Velocity on a lap? Velocity is not on a lap, so I think we're just coming to the end of phase one. But like, just talking about the throttle application again, it's like if you watched a few people around here, like none of the cars have been twitching out as much, and it's like finding that a lot more. And if you come up to sector 2, coming before you go down the second main straight, it honestly feels a lot more planted, like you was mentioning. So we'll see how to do, but apart from that, we are good on this. Oh, sorry about that. I've got a bit. I'm not feeling fully up to it, but I've had a bit of a cold the last 2 days, but that won't stop us from getting a good race, hopefully, from this. But anyway, coming up to the final. We're coming up to 10 minutes into quali, and we've got a few guys set a lap yet, and a few of them. Well, Ingenio's on his lap now. I was just about to mention a few of the other drivers, but Ingenio, he's a very capable driver, and he has shown to have some very great pace. So let's see how Ingenio does through sector 1. As he comes up to turn 3 now, he gets into third, into fourth, so he's shifting pretty quickly. And how people take that turn is honestly up to their preference, but sometimes you do it. But he does a 26.5, which is not bad. Oh, and he locks up going into next turn. He doesn't invalidate, but he sets the fastest first sector by the look of it, so this could be a good lap by him as he comes up to turn 5 now. As he sets, he locks up again and he invalidates, and that's a nice fixture they've actually fixed. It actually shows the lap invalidation now, so I'm actually thankful for that working, but we shall see how this goes. But right then, Vex is also on a lap, and he sets to 26.4, so this is actually the fastest first sector to me. So let's see how he does coming up to sector 2, and how he takes the left and right hander as he gets it into 7. We could have clipped the curb a bit more, but does pretty well. Still coming up now into the DRS zone. Let's see how he does coming into the final part of the track and into sector 3. He's going to come up into that turn, and he locks up again, and it seems like everyone's having a bit of a problem with the lockup at the moment, but it's like the traction seems to be like pretty much non-existent at the minute. But as Vex comes up to the line now, let's see what he does, up to 4th to 5th. Let's see what he can do. This looks like he can possibly get it into the 19s. I think he's just about going to get it into the 20s as Vex comes up to the line. A 120 flat, so Vex with a very good lap there, but I think he's definitely got more to show. And you know, I think a few more of these guys, he's 4 times faster than Chris at the minute, but a very good lap indeed. And yeah, I mean, have you, Itax, have you seen anything you want to sound at the minute, or you're okay?
No, I'm okay, man.
It was just like I didn't want to be saying anything on the limelight or
No
anything.
problem, I just...
It's fine. It's like, I think like the main thing about commentating is like when you've got 2 people, like you're always gonna have, well, yeah, different people doing it, but it's like if you're always commentating like the main person, I always feel bad for not letting anyone else got a word in, because it gets into there. But again, like Itax, a very big thank you. And he also does have his own channel which he does a lot of racing on, but also he does some of his own stuff on there. So if you ever need a good stream or want to check anyone out, Itax can give you that. So he's he's got the same username, so if you want to go and check him out, he's on Twitch. And if you've got, so if there's anything else you do, then pretty much there you go. He's always free for that. But anyway, we're coming into the got a few more laps done now. But Gary finally responds and does a 121 flats, so he's actually come back into this and closed the gap to Luke now. So these rivals have got unfinished business from last season. It looks like they are going. Ingenio, I thought he was on a lap then invalidated, but luckily he's on his out lap, so we're right. But another person to keep an eye on is Polar Haze. Polar Haze came in last season and was really good towards the tail end of it, so let's see how he can do. But I raced him on Friday. Oh, is that a spot of rain?
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Alright, I was going to say, literally everyone in chat before the race was going, we want rain, we want rain. I think some of them are going to get their wish, but this could be very bad for Icewind and Jenny. Oh yes, there is rain. This could be very bad for Icewind and Jenny. If they do not get a move on, they could be looking at the barrel, well, I was going to say the barrel of a gun, but oh, Charles the Stupid has had a bit of a moment, and that looks like he's qualifying over, but oh my god. I think Icewind and Ingenio could have left this a bit late, and so has Grunwald. Oh, I think these guys have left it a bit too late. Yeah. They're going to have issues right then. So Polar Haze, let's see how he does. Is there actually going to be any track? Well, is the track going to be dry enough to actually get this on? So let's see how he does. Polar Haze coming up into sector 1. Ingenio as well. So these guys, Ingenio still 26.5, so there is still time in the track at the minutes, but he's got to get a move on if he's going to get a lap in. I don't think he's going to be able to get another lap, so pretty much this is do or die for him now. God, that sounds so dramatic in terms of what we're expecting, but he's coming through sector 2 and he's actually going to get a bit of slipstream from Bluxbury, who actually gets out of the way. And now as he comes up into sector 3, oh, that's a bit of touch on the curb, and as he comes now into the sweeping right-hander, is he going to do it? Yes, he is. He's going to be all right. Polar Haze as well, just 2 tenths down in sector 1, but this rain looks like he's not going to do it. He comes up, yeah, that looks like he's going to be a 120. So the track now, I think, is just getting a bit too wet for anyone to get. As he sets over the line of 120.6, so there still is time on the track. Ingenio goes 5th as Polar Haze now. He's on a lap, but I think he's just got a bit impeded. Yeah, oh, Vindo
blocked. Yeah, really hard.
Yeah, Vindo might. Vindo. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate because Vindo was on a lap, so Polar Haze, unfortunately, there couldn't do anything because Vindo was actually on a lap. So that's just one of those unfortunate ones where you can't get in the way, and that's going to be, well, gut wrencher for him. So that could actually look like P19 for it. So not really good. But another guy to keep an eye on is making his debut in the no assist here is sorry if I get his name wrong, but it's Ivan. Is it Ivan Filipic? But he's actually on a lap now. This could actually be really good. He comes, he's going to set a one. You know, it looks like a 121 on the softs, and he goes P8. Filipic. If I get his name wrong, please tell me after this race, because I'm pretty sure I am going to get it wrong. I think with a few of the new people, but he's from the league called F1 Adira, and he is currently going to be racing in Tier 1 and this season full time. Yeah, Vexit did improve. Is Vexit improving? Apparently Biggles is saying Vexit is improving as we speak. No, he is. Is he improving? Let's see how he does. No, I don't think he is. He's going to the pits, but yeah, thanks Biggles for the shout out in that case. But yeah, Filipic, he's from the league F1 Adira, which is the main Croatian league. He's I think he's an admin there, but he's a very fast driver because he's the champion there. And a few drivers like Luca have come from there, and I'm just trying to think of a few more, but they are a very good league of the National League of Croatia, pretty much like F1 Romania, and like everyone from there races. But it's like Cosmin, if you're listening, there you go. He didn't dip forward to get to P1, but yeah. Anyway, I think that actually a few people are retiring because the rain is playing a bit on their, well, they're not going to be able to set the time, and it looks like Grunwald is made that mistake as well. He can't set a faster lap because of the rain. But someone's in the wall coming through there as Velocity gets out of the way. of Grunwald, but Zotax also retiring from the session. Because Icewind looks like, so the track is not wet. So as Grunwald goes wide and the rain looks like
Yep.
gets him into sector 3, and there we go. Grunwald unfortunately doesn't set a faster lap, but in that case then I believe that might be the end of qualifying unless anyone yeah, it looks like we are gonna have the
Yep.
end of quali now.
Polar Haze is on
And
his lap right now.
Ozzy, so
Yep.
right then, Polar Haze, let's see how Polar Haze does.
Oh, that's a big spin.
Commentator's curse. Yes, I think the track is a little. Yeah, I think the track is a little bit too wet as we watching it, but there we go. Hoofy on a lap, but I don't really see anyone else making any improvements in terms of setting any faster times because the track's just too wet to even consider going anymore. But yeah, I think that's safe to say that means Vexit is on pole, but Icewind, both of the Red Bulls, locking out the front row there. So it's not really game over, but Red Bull locking out the front row, and in the constructors that could be a pretty big thing. But it's safe to say Vexit has got the upper hand on Gary going into this race, and looks like it's going to be a bit of mind games before we begin. But yeah. Well, he isn't. Hang on, Biggles. If you want to be a medical driver, you can go and check him out. Well, check out because there's space in the medical car if you want it. But there you go. As Bluxtree thinks he's going out again for another lap, but I just really can't see anyone improving. There's 1 minute to go, but
yeah, that's really weird that some people are still on their out lap, as in Genio who tries to put another lap in and he already spins so well on the first corner, and he's that's it for him. And yeah, it's really weird to be honest that some people still try.
I was gonna say, well, the thing is, you're a master. Yeah, I think Ingenio, I was just on board with him. How did you say it was the Schumacher-esque exit? No, the Alonso crash exit, but we shall not go into that. As Vexit, hang on, did Vexit improve? I think he might have. I know he hasn't. He was retired from the session. He just came up there. He set the fastest lap again. But I was going to say, you're a master of the wet, and what can you actually tell us about the rain on this game at the moment?
Well, I wouldn't go as to a master of the wet, but I just really like the full wet conditions for some reason, because and this year it's just so much more fun to drive in the rain as you have so much more grip.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I don't go that far as going to master of the rain.
I mean, put it this way, you're faster than me, so I give you that title because I am not really a good master of the rain at all. But I think that's safe to say. Quali is over.
Yeah, as Fur still tries to put a lap in, but he already lost control of the car at the beginning of the lap. As it goes wide at the first corner, and he spins. Oh, never mind.
This is the thing about the rain. Like, it's unpredictable in quality. It can ruin it. Like, if you go to the end, it's not really bad. It's just kind of like you want to be able to get it in a good lap, as we say. But in that case, it is pretty much confirmed the Red Bull lockout with Exit and Icewind P1 and P2. Gary OC in P3, his title defense getting off to a pretty good start already in P2. P3, I mean, he's going to have a good chance. And I'm going to say the surprise of the day is Mr. Chris in P4. He's gone no line, and he set a 120. He set a 120 triple two, and that is a brilliant lap from him, because we was talking in Discord before the race, and we was, doubting his how do you say, ability with no line, but he's clearly shown here that he has got the pace. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets on in the end. But while we just wait for Furious to retire from the session before moving on. But there we go, Furious retires, and I think it's just Vindu we're waiting on. But going in that, we have got our full grid, and we'll be waiting for the race shortly as the rain peters down. But I'm not sure if anyone can update us if it's going to be dry during the race. Let us know, but it looks like it will be, so it'll be interesting to see. But also Slim P11, so he's gonna have a good choice of tires. He's gonna have a good choice of tires when he gets to the race because he's in P11. It's his first league race as well, but he's got some really good pace for the no assist here. But we shall see as we just wait for the countdown to go on. If Bindu is there, can he retire? But I'm not sure if we can hear. Yeah, I was gonna say I can hear the the commentator from the background. But right, we're just waiting for Bindu to retire.
Yep.
Either way.
But really surprising by Icewind, because it's, I mean, even if the track is not fully wet, but if it starts raining, the grip already goes a little bit down, I think. So it's really surprising that he got second position. Really good by him.
I mean, I think that's the new wheel for Icewind. They're actually kicking into how did you call it? Yeah. Oh, it's scheduled. Thank you. Slim has just updated, and we are going to have a wet race. So everyone in chat seems to have got their wish.
Yep.
We have got wet rain for the race. I was going to say Wayne. I mean rain for the race. So Wayne for the race. But there you go. Full quality classification. Vexit on pole. Icewind with a storming lap in P2, especially in the wet. Gary P3, Chris P4 locking out the second row. On the third row is Bluckstreet and Ingenio in P5 and P6. Mr. Wong and E. Filipich in the fourth row in P7 and P8, and on the fifth row in P9 and P10 is Zotax and Mr. Furious. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys get on in this wet race. But yeah, it's going to be a major test. But like the first race being in the rain is another thing completely. When the only races I've done so far is actually in the dry, and hey, we'll see how everyone does because the skill it takes to race in the rain is something a little completely different as you're in the dry. And there we go. So is it going to be rain? Is it going to be intermediates, or is it going to be dry at any point? If that can be updated, please let us know. But I think it looks like we could have a chance of a dry patch during the race. But do you know what this reminds me of? Do you remember Germany in Tier 1 last season? The rain, was it the rain in that, or was it a different race? I think I might be thinking of a different race. Just ignore me for a second then.
I think I'm not sure. No, the last year was dry in Germany, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember because I thought we did a race in the rain as well. I might be going mad here.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it's option 1. Well, option 2 of going mad. But either way, we have got everyone on.
Oh, Adam.
Yeah.
I think I'm not
What's
sure.
happened?
I think I'm oh. All right. Predicted pit stop strategy. It looks like it's a one stop on from intermediates to intermediates. But
I think you're right because the pit delta thing comes up over the bottom as well.
Yeah, that's something new.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Fub and Hoopy, but they've been disqualified on the grid. So I'm not sure what's happened there. Cody's brilliant. There we go, intermediate. So there you go. That's a cool thing. That's the cool thing.
Yeah, but it says intermediate, but we don't see what weather it is because it might say that it's from intermediates to intermediates, but it might dry up later, but we can't see that just yet.
Yeah, I mean the other thing is though, with the intermediates, you don't actually have to make. I learnt this. Don't actually make a pit stop. You can go to the end of the race.
Well,
not recommended, but you can do it. As I said, you ideally want to pit, but yeah, we can see what happens in terms of that. But it's going to be it's going to be just like the race, softer, harder. Obviously, in the dry, in the wet, it's intermediate to intermediate, unless any more rain comes. But it doesn't really look like it's going that heavy at the moment in terms of. As Furious, he's already sliding from sector 3 now as the cars form up on the grid again. But I'm gonna not make any predictions because I know I'm horribly wrong on them, and that's gonna be my forte for this season.
Well,
Do not.
I'm gonna make a prediction then. I think it's just gonna be a Vexit pole position. I feel like Icewood will just get second, and third. I'm not sure.
I'd go for the one who's in P3 now, but as I said, I am not making a winning prediction on this because I am horribly wrong, and I've learnt my lessons from last season. Do not pick any predictions. But anyway, let's line up and get ready for lights out for the first race of the season in Deer Mark for the no assist here, as we got ready, as we have green flags. Anyway, lights are coming on.
And they're off, and away we go.
Away we go, as the camera angle is absolutely horrible. First thing to say, as Vexit gets a great start, Icewood as well. In the back, we've got a bit of action, but the Red Bulls get out of turn one really well. Ingenio, the Haas, I'm not sure what's happened there. There's been a bit of carnage at turn one, and I can't tell as Jim Wong is all the way. Oh, we've got a massive crash at the back. It is hardcore, and he has got a bit of damage, but it looks like everyone else has made it through the first section of the track. Great, as the Mercedes are both fighting as well, and looks like Grunwald has unfortunately got damage, so that's not what the teammates wanted in the rain, but looks like we've got away pretty well apart from a few incidents at the back. But anyway, as we lead well, Gary's got past Icewind without me noticing. Sorry, I've got my things mixed up, but the leaders, Vexit 4 tenths away, but Icewind already getting outdone by Gary, unfortunately. So Icewind not looking for the start he wanted, but the first two guys, as usual, are looking like they're going to take this championship fight as they did last season. As for 47, he's dropping down the order, but there's a battles going on all over the track at the minute.
Yeah.
It's too hard to keep up, but I think we'll Zotax is going to go on. No, it's Grunwald going on Slim into P10, and he gets the move done. Nice move by Grunwald there. So it might have been Zotax with the wing damage, in fact. But anyway, as we complete lap one, Vexit crosses the line first. Gary in second. Chris P4. Ingenio P5. Bluxury P6, but like there's a nice train forming up here, and it is great to see these guys do so well. But Zotax in the pit to repair that wing damage, but we've got a really close battles going on. It is Furious going to have a go at Bluxury going into turn 2. No, he's not. He's going to hold on for a minute, but there's a massive train forming here for P4, and there's cars all the way down to P8 battling for this position. So be nice to see how everyone does in terms of it. And thank you for the predicted pit stop again.
Yeah,
I do not want to see. I do not want to see. We've already seen this. Like, I mean, it's a nice feature, but we only update it when we want to see. But anyway,
Jim Wong has some wing damage in 15th position. I'm not sure what happened there, but
I think he was got caught up in the tangle with hardcore at the start because there was a hash going round, but. I think he just got caught out, unfortunately, as Slim and Charlotte stupid. Oh no, Slim's lost it on the curb. By the look of it, it looks like thankfully he's got no damage, but that's going to be an absolute gut wrench for him because he was doing so well getting up those positions. And we have another yellow flag at the back. I think it was for Vindu. But looks like again it's come up again. I don't want to see the tire strategy for crying out loud. Okay, I've seen enough of it. We're pitting on lap 16. I get that. Okay, moving on. The leaders are pulling away because they've opened up a 2-second gap to Icewind and Chris. But looking at it, this battle for P9, F1 Simvids and Grunwald are going together now, as Grunwald is coming in to get under pressure from F1 Simvids now, as he is in P10, but Grunwald did get the move on him, and Polar Haze and Fub 47 both trading places down to turn 1. As I said, there is action all over the place at the moment, so it is really hard to keep up with where we're going. But anyway, as we come up to the next part of this track, we are literally going to wait a few minutes until we just get through it. But It is really close between us, but Icewind is.
Oh, a big mistake by Simvids here. He goes into the gravel.
Oh
Nice.
no. Oh no.
That's
Luckily he's come back on the track, but that's gonna be not killer for his race, but
yeah.
you know, just in general. But like Jim's actually doing all right. I think Jim's just trying to stay out so he doesn't have to make another pit stop because he's got the wing damage. But further up the field, Icewind and Gary are pulling in closer to Vexit, and this is great to see these guys. You know, we've got a yellow flag somewhere, and that's at the back, but doesn't look too bad at the moment in terms of it. But looks like Vexit has pulled out a little bit over Icewind, and Gary is getting it, but Icewind catching up to Vexit now, as Hooper gets a 3-second time penalty in the first warnings of this race. But these guys are not getting separated that easy at the moment, as Filipic is coming down as into turn 1 now, but this train is all the way up to P4, which is kind of great to see these guys battling it out, but we'll have to see how they get on in a second. But I'm gonna have to switch in between both of these battles because I'm not really sure which one to keep an eye on in a minute, because there's that many of them. It's really intense, but we're getting some great battles as we go along at the minute into lap 3 of this race. Lap 4 of this race, and it already would help if I can actually say this properly. But Furious looks like he could have a go on Luxury in a minute in this pack in battle for P4, and he is getting really close. Is he going to be able to have a go? He just needs to get a good exit on the throttle. Or he gets a bit too much on the throttle but covers it, and looks like he's still going to be able to have a go at Luxury into the left right hander here, but we'll have to see how he does. F1 Simvids and Jim Wong switch places on the but saying that, it looks like, oh, Furious gets on the curb, and that could open the door up to Filipic. So Filipic goes, is he going to go around the outside of Furious? Yes, he does. That mistake proving costly for Furious as he drops down to P8 now. The little moment in the wet can change everything, as we've just seen. But saying that, Ingenio is keeping Chris. Pretty much he's pushing him along now. So if Ingenio can get a good exit, he might be able to challenge turn 1. As always, he gets a bit of a thanks up as well. Seems like the commentator's curse is kicking in every 2 seconds at the moment. I mean, have you actually done any of this drifting in the wet yet, the Rainmaster, or has he not?
Wait, what was that?
Or have you done any of this drifting in the wet? Or is this Charles the Stupid? It looks like he's dropping down the order. I'm not sure what's happened to him. Yeah, it looks like he's made a mistake coming out the final turn, and that's not. Yeah, he's dropped all the way down there, unfortunately for him. Yep. But anyway, getting back to what I said, have you actually done any great stuff in wet yet? Like drifting, or is that waiting to see that?
Definitely in the intermediates. It's for some reason intermediates is a little bit harder than the full wets. Not sure why, but it's just like that, you know.
Yeah,
intermediates, it's definitely harder to like, or easier to drift or just lose control, or it's just harder to catch, I guess. As you can see here on for F1 Sim Vids, only on a soft right-hander he almost spins, and he's.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna say I'd literally come on board with him, and the unfortunately spun round, but yeah, everyone's Sim Vids having little moment twice, but he has shown some good pace so far in terms of what he's done. But Vexit again sets the fastest lap, and looks like now he's starting to pull out a little gap over the 2 guys behind him. But anyway, it looks like Chris has actually pulled out a gap to Ingenio, so that's another point to keep an eye on, because Ingenio now is going to have Luxury behind him, but Filipic now actually picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that could be so costly in Australia. But this pack of cars is keeping together so nicely. I like they're doing really well to control this in the type of race it is, but especially in the wet, as Furious now gets a penalty as well, and I think a few more of these guys are. But if there's another thing that I want to try and keep going, it is the we have a yellow flag in sector 1, I believe, but I'm not sure it is. If we can get the YouTube chat going, because I mean, I've actually got it up on screen for once because it's actually not making my game lag. So if we can get that going, that would be great. If you could want any predictions or any subscribe to our Patreon, but we don't have one, so we'll leave that out for a minute. But like predictions or anything, we can get this going. But at the minute, Bluxry and Ingenio is actually getting back closer to Chris. He got second behind him a minute ago, and he's right on the back of him now, coming up into the penultimate turn. Is Ingenio going to be able to get past Chris? So Ingenio now looks for the move. Oh my God! Oh no! He doesn't. He almost did it. But look at that. P4, P down to P7. He's doing that, and has something happened to Furious? Yeah, Furious must have made a mistake because he's way behind this pack
He's
now.
going into the pit.
So he must have had an incident or something, because really he's dropped off this pack massively now. So God knows what happened to him, but saying that, that's really unfortunate for him. But he should be able to go to the end on these tyres, so it doesn't look like he's going to be affected too much by what's happened. But the real train at the minute is for this one, for P4, and I think this is going to be where we're going to have to keep an eye on the battle, as Chris, Ingenio, Bluxry, all like they're just swooping for each other, and like it's really great to see like these guys keeping this battle so close. And I think it's going to be pretty much, as long as they don't make a mistake or on the penalties, it's going to be key when he gets to the pit stop, because it's actually going to be a bit longer now. But look at this, Ingenio makes a little mistake, and that opens the door up to Bluxry. And Biggles, if you want to, if you want me to say something, what does it say in your Steam profile about the joke? If you want it to rain, you're not getting any. But either way, let's see how we do. But I think you are going to be right. It is going to rain more, please. Well, rain more in terms of how we're going to get into this. But let's carry on, as this battle, actually I think ahead, Exit, no, sorry, Icewind is getting on the back of Gary, and Gary is now under much more threat than Icewind he was in a few previous laps. So that's another one to keep an eye out on. But I think as well, the McLaren drivers are both, I'm not sure we've got team orders at McLaren, but both of these guys are both battling for position on track at the moment. And it's going to be, is it going to be team orders at McLaren here as they come down the main straight? But I think it is. Look, they're both going side by side into turn one. And he done it? And yes, Charles has got past Fub, so team orders clearly in play at McLaren there, as they get down into turn one. So, no, turn two, I mean. I'm really off here at the moment, but nothing more is happening at the minute. But the battles are still pretty close on track, but obviously the rain, you've just got a bit more patient in terms of what you want to do. So it's biding your time in even the pit stops, but the rate, it's actually been really surprising so far to see how the quality of these drivers have been, in terms of Chris picks up a 3-second time penalty in the race, but Ingenio's got one as well, so that is going to be alright for him. But Chris rarely picks up penalties anyway, so that shouldn't be an issue. But what I was saying in terms of we are going to have with the rain, it is like a lot more quality you need to race in the rain. I'm not saying it's like you've got to have a certain skill set, because the throttle inputs are so much different. And I think you can quote on this Mr. Rain, Mr. Master, about the different inputs on the rain, like how have you had to find it at the moment compared to like the dry racing on this game so far?
Well, I don't know. I mean, for the rain, of course, you need to be a little bit more careful with the throttle application and with the brake. And I don't know, you need to be more patient, because of course you don't have the DRS, and if you go for a move and you make a mistake, that's almost your whole race over to gain another position. So yeah, it's of course it's understandable that we don't see many overtaking now, because it's just hard in this kind of conditions.
Yes. Like, I mean, knowing me, myself. Oh my God! Speaking of that, Ingenio then with that drift. I got that on camera, which was going to be good, and I think that will be some footage for the archives after.
Oh, as
For a good-
F1A gets another penalty.
Yeah, I was going to say F1 stands for F1 Adira, and if any Croatian is watching, please tell me if I am completely wrong in that case, because I think I may be. But anyway, Bilic, like, he's doing really well in his debut, because he does, just a bit of info, he is using Racing Line usually, but he is trying to go no assists without it. And oh, we have a yellow flag, as I'm not sure, is that F1 Simvids again? Yeah, no, it wasn't. I'm not sure who that was then, but someone had a bit of a moment as watched on board. But up top, not really much moment as F1 Simbids gets a time penalty again. As Chris and Ingenio are getting past as Ingenio barges his way past into turn 3. These guys are going side by side. Oh my god, that is Ingenio there, a bit cheeky, gets past Chris. And now Bluxry looks like he wants to go in, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. And Ingenio gets past, but Bluxry is coming at Chris now. As Filipic, as Bluxry gets past Chris, Filipic is also going for it. Is Chris going to lose 3 places in 1? I'm not too sure, but Chris looks like he holds on for now.
No, Filipic lost control and went into the grass.
Oh no, not good. I'm not sure. I didn't see what happened on camera there, but is Filipic back? Yes, he is. He doesn't get any wing damage, but Chris there literally hanging on for his life as he comes through there. But not good for Filipic as he lost the place to Grunwald now. But we also do have a little battle going on at the back with who is that? Sorry, Furious and the McLaren of Fub, but nothing's happened. But what? As Hardcore has left the session, unfortunately, I think he's, after that turn 1, he's not had, well, really the best race to say, and just unfortunately it does happen. So
Yeah. This year, the drivers really need to be careful with retiring this of sessions, because in F1 2020, for some reason, it's really easy to get a safety car or virtual safety car out.
yeah, I know what you mean, because, well, I'll say this, I got locked out of session yesterday because I had a bit of a moment, and I may have got, but look at this, Slim is under pressure from Furious now as to go down to turn 1. Is Furious going to have that pace just to hold him going into turn 1, and Furious goes down the inside of Slim into turn 1, and Slim loses the place to Furious. But it looks like Furious could also have a go at the McLaren here into turn 2. So you're going to make up 2 places in 1. I don't think he is, but he is really close on the back of Charles the Stupid now as they come through into Charles goes a bit wide as they come through as Furious. Oh, as he gets him on the grass, and Furious up 2 places in a couple of turns there. So we are going to be seeing some very cool stuff in a minute, but Furious up and on his way. But speaking of that, Polar Haze is actually all the way up from the back and doing a really good job into P9 now. I know everyone's pitted, but he's actually latched himself onto the points positions, so it is great to see how he's actually climbed all the way after that disastrous, to say the least, in terms of the times to get there. But it's good to see that. But actually saying that, Grunwald is closing in on Chris now, so Chris is not having the best of terms of going all the way from P4 to P. As Hoopy retires from the session, I think he's dropped it somewhere, and he has, unfortunately. Is that going to trigger a safety car? And I'm not too sure. I don't think it will, but let's see how as we come on now into the next part. Yeah, we have a yellow flag in sector well, as nothing's happened, but it is getting really close now. Pit window, so there's gonna be. That's the other thing that I've noticed. Like, what's annoying is, you know, when you've got the car number, like, how couldn't they do that last year? But saying that, Grunwald is going to go at Chris side by side. I don't think they're going to do it, but oh my god, the lap Haas there getting in the way. of both of them, and Grunwald having a little moment there because I don't think he expected to see a Haas down the back straight, and he's had to get out the way of him. But either way, the Haas is out the way now of Hardcore in terms of that. But at the front, not really much has changed as part. Both of these drivers are forming a 2-second gap between each other. So, us, but who's that in front? Someone's close to having a go at someone. No, there wasn't. It was just someone going in the other way. Slim is doing right. Furious is doing all right. Yeah, there's not really. Grunwald is going as well up to Chris and Polar Haze, and Filipic is the first of the top 10 to pit on the 12 lap old tyres, so he obviously thinks now the tyre situation can be changed there, and he's got to get a move on then, so he should be able to do it. But here, the battle for P6 looks like Grunwald has found a bit of pace because he's latching in onto the back of Chris here with his ERS. Well, ERS, yes he is, because he's hit the overtake button, and he is getting really close onto him. So let's see how he does in 2 turns into the second sector. I don't know. I keep saying the turns, but I don't really know them that, to be honest. But we shall see as we carry on into the next parts of this race. Getting closer, but not close enough to challenge him yet. As he's dropping a bit back and can't really do much more.
Yeah, he was 4 tenths behind Chris, but he's dropping back massively right now.
Yeah, he's only dropping. He's dropping back. I wouldn't say massively, but
Charles is stupid with a spin and to turn 2.
And he's retired from the session, so Charles is stupid. Having a crash, and is that gonna bring out a safety car chance? I'm not too sure, but I'm just gonna see who's going past him. I think that's an Alfa Romeo of someone. Luxury. So Chris is gonna go past him. No, he's not. So it looks like that McLaren is out of the way now, thankfully. So he did have a little spin, and that looks like the end of his session. But Ingenio pits as well. So where's Ingenio gonna come out? He comes out a long way ahead of Pitch, so that's another one pretty much confirmed for a battle. But I think what it's going to be is it's going to be interesting to see how the leaders get on now in terms of, you know, the battle they're having, because they're getting really close together and they're only 1 second apart. But again, it is going to be a test of the brains who's going to be able to actually do it.
I think this is the best time to check the penalties.
Yes, I shall do that.
Yes, okay, we're gonna go to Vexit, and Vexit is clean.
Yes, Vexit is clean. Actually, Gary's clean. Icewind's got a penalty.
Yep.
Luxury has got a penalty. Chris has got a penalty. So the top 2, amazingly, have picked up no warnings somehow.
Yes.
Yeah, and then everyone else below them, the further you go down, the more penalties they've got. It ranges from 3 to it. As Vexit and Gary pit, Vexit is about to come out, but Icewind has decided to stay out, so they feeling that this is the right time to pit and change their tyres in terms of it. But yeah, I've got the thing about the penalties. I've sorted the penalties out, don't worry. Yeah, they're literally there'll be something coming to solve any issues like that, but it looks like Gary has come out a little bit behind Vexit, and that could have kind of swallowed him, well, not swallowed him a bit, but you know, not really done that much. But Filipic is actually up into P6 right now because a few of these guys got to pit because he's jumped Chris and Richard in the pit. So where's he actually? Oh my god, pitting later. Looks like it hasn't worked out for a few of these drivers because they've dropped down behind the Williams and of Ingenio and a few other guys, so that's not worked out at all for a few drivers. So we'll see how this comes out because the pit stops is gonna change a few of these guys. But I think Icewind could have made a little mistake here in staying out. I know he's got a bit of clear air, but he's like losing so much time to that. And hello, Mr. Sorry, I'm Greek names Philokites. Oh god, I need Q tender here now to do it. Yeah. But hello or Calimero, that's the only word I know in Greek. As we come into Icewind's pit stop now. So where is Vex and Gary? Looks like they are battling it out coming up to penultimate turn. So it's going to be interesting to see where Icewind comes out. These guys come out around the final turn now. Icewind is still in his box, I think. Yes, Polar Haze is there as Icewind is coming out the pits, and he just comes out behind them. But he hasn't come out that far behind them. He is only 3 seconds down the road,
Yeah.
but he's still got to factor in that penalty. And hello, Mr. Joel. I know it's Joel the Mole, and yeah, that's speaking of another person to check out. Go and check out Joe's channel. He's doing a few F1 team stuff at the minute and on his channel, and he's also doing I'm not sure if you're commentating in a minute, but he also does a great job on that. But really go and check out his channel in terms of what you want to, if you want to see some great content from Mr. Joel the Mole. But everyone simply goes by him as Joel. But anyway, let's get back into the action as we approach lap 16. We've got 13 laps to go. We have got Filipich up into P5, which is, after his little trip across the grass, it is going really well for him. He's covered that mistake up beautifully, but Chris is dropped behind Luxury. But the thing is, Chris, he's got fresher tyres than these by at least 1 or 2 laps, so he isn't really going to lose out in that respect.
And yeah, let's talk about Furious in a second. Furious in a second.
It's like my name. It's Furious.
Yeah,
but
Furious.
it's like for Tensus.
But he jumped Richard with the pit stops, it seemed like, because
Yeah.
Richard was behind Chris, and now he's behind, and now Richard is behind Furious. Goddamn.
See, the thing is, you've got to check as well. Ingenio has who's that? Is that Slim who's made a mistake? So a yellow flag is Slim has spun, unfortunately, in terms of that. So not good for Slim in that respect. But yeah, I was going to say Furious might have jumped Richard or Mr. Gunn in the pits, but he's on 10 lap older tyres, so can't really do much there.
Wait, is he?
Hey,
Okay,
Wimpy, Wimpy, game for Icewind, and yes, Team Wimpy and Icewind is getting for it. And just while we're on at the minute, the EGL is hosting a cool event next week, which is SLR versus the Greek Racing League on Monday night at 8 PM, I believe, which is the Central European time. And it's a 100% race, which you're not going to want to miss. And if you want to go and see some great racing, it is going to be a great 10v10 that night. So go and check that out, because both of these leagues have got really great drivers, and it will be not to forget. So if you're around, go and check that out as well if you've got time. But in terms of the race and penalties at the moment, Icewind is on 3 seconds, while Gary and Vex still remain on none. So Icewind is on for a podium, because by the matter of fact, Ingenio has got so many penalties, but Icewind sets the fastest lap, just so he looks like he's going to get another. But in terms of it, Icewind, the top 3 have pretty much got a certainty of a podium at this rate. Whatever order it ends up in will be a different matter. Ingenio is going to try and get ahead of Filipich, but I think Filipich has got at least 12 penalties in that regard. Chris has got a few penalties as well, but not that many, from what I know. So it'll be interesting to see. But at the back, there's actually a battle going on now, as Zotax picks up a penalty for cutting sector 2, and Jim closing on the back of him, but Jim obviously having that little incident at the start of the race, which didn't do him much good, and that was unfortunate for him. But looking at that, Polar Haze has speaking commentator's curse, Polar Haze picks up a penalty when I mention his name. But Polar Haze coming all the way from the back of the grid, P10, on tricky conditions, and he's keeping it stick so far, keeping it there, which is really great to see. But just going to ride on board with Richard I mean, Grunwald, it's just easier to call because he is there. He is getting on the back of Furious now, but Furious' tyres are 8 laps older than well, how do you say it? Grunwald, so it is going to be an easy overtake, to be honest, but won't be too much. But up the front, the gap is less than a second now, so that could be interesting to see because Gary is rapidly closing on Vex. But let's see how they could do. They are getting really close to each other now, so Gary getting closer to Vex yet again. Icewind has dropped back a little bit now, to 4.3 seconds behind these guys, but he's 7 seconds clear of Ingenio, which is going to be one to keep an eye on in terms of who's going to affect the penalties behind, because there actually are only gaps of up to about 6 seconds in terms of where everyone is, but I don't think it's gonna. This could affect the standings at the end. But Gary is getting really close to the back of Vexit now, and he looks he's getting the closest he's been all race. So Gary gonna look like he's gonna make a move on Vex into the how do you call it, penultimate turn, but no, I don't think he is. He's getting really close, but not enough to justify an overtake at the minute. Let's see his overtake at the minute. He's got 38% compared to Vex's. He's got 46, so they're both kind of on similar ones, but Gary is starting to put Vex under a bit more pressure now, so he is gonna try and force him into a mistake of some sort, or try and keep him going, but he is gonna get him now as they come down into turn 2. I mean, he's got it as Filipic sets the fastest, literally by a few tenths of a second. So, well, a few thousandths, I mean. But look at this, Gary is getting really close to Vexit now. I think Vexit is still trying to hold off for the pain of Brazil when he lost the title on the finish line by it was Gasly and Hamilton again. But I said about the less the better. No, he's getting closer and closer, but still, again, the gap's just still there. It looks like Vex has got better traction in terms of the curbs at the minute, 'cause it looks like he's just more fluid on them. Gary not giving up that easily now, as they've got 9 laps in terms of what to do, but I'm just going to check the penalty situation quickly.
Right.
I think what Gary's trying to do is put Vex into a mistake, because Gary just did pick up a warning. They're both literally passing warnings back and forth because they've only got one, so they haven't really got much. But Gary is getting a lot closer now to Vex, and he could have a go at him into the penultimate turn, but it's more likely going to be on the straight. He dropped 6 tenths back there, but Gary looks like he can get Vex as he comes into the final turn now. Is Vex going to be able to he gets a much better exit, but look, Gary's not giving up. They look like the same distance as the last lap. Is Vexit going to have Gary overtake him into turn 2? No, he doesn't, so he keeps on turn 1, but this is where DRS really does help, but you know, he's not getting it now. It's going to be about driving skill more than anything, but he's getting so close to the back of Vexit, and this could be a matter of time, but also of Vexit's skill as a driver to keep Gary behind for the final 9 laps. And you know, let's see how he does. But it looks like he's pushing now, because I believe that was a bit off the track, so he could get a penalty in mind there, but I'm not too sure at the moment. And sorry, my mouth is kind of starting to go a bit weird, but anyway, let's see how we do. This is getting really close between these guys. It's just not really, it's like the immovable object, but saying that, Furious and Grunwald are both having getting closer now to each other, and yeah, they're doing pretty well between each other as well. But looks like Grunwald is gonna get Furious now into the, he's going to go for it. He cuts back on the inside. Looks like Furious takes it a bit wide, but he got so much better traction, and he beats him as Furious concedes to Grunwald now for that. But Furious is going to have another look at him. Oh my god, they're going back. Oh no! that was
A little bit
yeah.
too much ambition for the Furious.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Furious driving a brilliant race. It's not gonna really affect him too much. He's gonna have P10 just by the virtue of the gap behind. But he still drove a great race regardless of what happened there, and it'll be interesting to see how he recovers from that. But saying that, I'm not sure who Grunwald is coming up to the back of, but he is it's Zotac. Sorry, Zotac and Velocity are both now having a go at each other into the same place, Furious. But Jim, this battle at the back is going to be another one to look at, as Jimmy Boy is going down into turn. What is now? Is the other Ferrari going to try it? Oh no! Oh no! Literally, you couldn't write it. A Ferrari Spinola.
No, wait,
Oh.
wait. Well, what's even better is it's a Mercedes and Ferrari crash, and it's exactly the same.
Who could write this? Who could really write this? You
Oh.
couldn't write it. You could not write. I think that didn't really help Gary and Vexit then, because they was both battling each other. I think they was like surprised to see a Ferrari in the way, but either way, let's see how Gary does. Icewind is clear Ferrari as well into it, but Gary is getting closer and closer as Velocity and Zotac both trade places. So I'm not. Oh no, Velocity spun out of turn 1 as well. Not really what he wanted, but the battle up top is getting a lot more intense now. But the thing is now, both of these drivers are coming up to traffic, so it's going to get even fiercer now. But these guys are trying to keep on going into the final 7 laps now. No, sorry, 6 laps, as I am mistaken yet again. But Velocity getting out of the way of the 2 leaders, as these 2 guys are literally fighting now in the last 5 laps. And you see it on the car there, Daddy strolling sponsorship. So it looks like Vexit is pulling out a little bit over Gary now, but I think Gary is being not shown the yellow flag. He is getting a bit of advantage, but I think that lap car is not going to do him any favours.
No.
To be honest, because that's going to give Vex a little bit of breathing room, because it had, and we have a yellow flag somewhere, and that looks like a Ferrari of
and
Jim.
Slim not getting out of the way there. He stays on the racing line and really blocks Gary a little bit. I mean, and
Yeah.
that means that Vexit is probably gonna get the first position here, as Gary
Yeah.
will probably not close the gap that quickly.
Yeah, I don't think he is, but
Nope. Actually, because of that, Icewind can get a little closer now, as he is 1.3 seconds behind Gary.
yeah. Also, sorry, there's a battle going on between Ingenio and Filipic now as they come up to. Oh, that's Oh no, what's happened there?
They're going
Not
side by
sure.
side, and
Yeah, they are. Is Filipic going to have
Yeah.
a go at Ingenio into turn 2? I thought they both had a bit of contact, but he dives down the inside. Oh my god, is he going to do it? Is Filipic going to do it? No, he doesn't. He literally just backs out at the last second
yeah,
to out of that. So Filipic is trying to get on with this and get that P4 away from Ingenio, because he knows that's up for grabs. But I really don't know the time penalties in that respect to these 2 guys, because it is gonna be like really hard to say until we know the end of the final race result. But we've got 5 laps to go, as Ingenio again skidding out of that. He's making a big habit of this, to be honest. So you know, he can get this done, but Ingenio getting up there in the end, and he is doing a really good job of holding on to that P4. But in terms of the lead, I think that traffic might have saved Vexit, to be honest, because he's got a 1.5 second gap, and he's more kind of now falling into the clutches of Icewind. So there we go. But Grunwald picks up a 3-second time penalty under pressure from Polar Haze, and he makes Polar Haze all the way up from the back of the grid to P8. So Polar Haze doing a fantastic job to get up to where he has from P7. So Polar Haze doing a great job there to get up to P8, and I think he could be in contention for driver of the day at the moment. But at the end of the race, we'll see from what we want to do on that from. But the battles have cooled down a little bit as we enter the final 4 laps, with Gary starting to chalk away a little bit at Vexit now, so he is clearly getting down. But behind them, this Taro, Alpha Tauri and Williams battle is getting a lot closer than before, so it is going to be... Oh no, Filipich picks up another, so safe to say he could even find himself behind Luxury at this rate. Well, so could Ingenio, but I won't stay until that. But we are going to get a nice battle out of these two. I'm gonna put it that way, because I think Filipich is coming out to the inside. Oh my! He locks up as Ingenio tries to leave him space, but he just about does it, and he is able to get that out done. But Ingenio now getting under more constant pressure from Filipich now to let him pass, but he is not in that case. But he is really getting close to the back of him. I mean, Gary, Icewind now is under 1 second of Gary, so these guys are getting a lot closer together than there was before. And you know, it is great to see this close action on track action, because without it, like, there ain't really much to commentate. But they're keeping it really close as we enter the final 3 laps of this race. As Grunwald, what's happened to him?
Oh no.
I can't see where his car is. Where is it?
I can't see it either. It's on the main straight right now. Not sure what's happening there. It's still moving, but it might be. I have no idea what's going on there.
I'm not sure what's happened to Grunwald, but it looks like the tricky conditions are putting him out. So it looks like McLaren are going to have points on their debut. But speaking of this, Icewind is getting onto the back of Gary. Gary getting into a little bit of trouble there, as now he's gone from the grasp of one Red Bull into another. So these guys are, you know, getting acquainted with each of themselves pretty well on track at the moment.
Yep.
And
I had a little look on Richard, and it didn't seem he had any damage, and I have no idea what happened there.
I think he probably just lost it out of the fight. Saying that Ingenio and Grunwald Ingenio and Filipich are going into turn 1, and Filipich looks like he's going to try and get a move done into turn 2, but he goes a bit he gets a bit of understeer coming out of it. It looks like Ingenio is going to hold as they come up to sector 2 and so on. But anyway, he is getting closer and closer, but he's not there. And as for Icewind, he's still 6/10 behind. These are the closest on track battles at the moment as we go to the final 3 laps, but that could all change. But look at this, the top 3 now separated by less than a second, because I think Vexit has finally realised he might be under a little bit of pressure from everyone. So Gary's got
Gary gets a 3-second time penalty.
Oh no, yeah, I think that's safe to say then. As long as Vexit doesn't pick one, Vexit is, because he's only got one. But oh, hello, Gary goes a bit wide. Is that going to open the door for Mr. Gloomy Icewind as we come up to the penultimate turn now? As he gets a lot closer than he was before, it looks like he gets a bit of understeer and goes wide, but Gary also does. So Gary looks like he gets the better exit now, because he's gone a bit further ahead, but he gets a bit of the twitch as they come out to, yeah, they've got enough penalties, alright. But the Red Bull not getting as close as he wants to in the end, and it is getting a lot closer than before. But I believe this could be the end of it, as F1 Simvids picks up another penalty, and we've got another yellow flag, and that is for F1 Simvids again, unfortunately. But we are still doing as Ingenio and Filipic are getting a lot away from each other now. But Icewind is getting close to Gary as he gets a bit of an steer. It looks like Gary OC is gonna is that one that Williams has lost it into turn one, and He looks like he's accidentally hit the throttle a bit too much there. But there's so many battles you know, going on at the moment. It is crazy to see the top three, but as I said, with the amount of penalties some drivers have got, it's going to be wondering how many are actually gonna, you know, retain their positions at the end of the race. But again, Gary keeps getting unlucky. He keeps getting stuck in traffic around this part of the track, and it looks like Icewind has got past it again. But that not helping their cause, as now we begin the final lap of this race in the second, with Vegsit leading Gary, Icewind in P3, as Gary gets a bit wide out, hasty out of the final turn. But I think these guys are actually going to be battling for position if we carry on the way we are. Vegsit is closing in on his pole position as velocity fix of 3 seconds, but we have the yellow flag somewhere. But the top three are again really close together as we come through sector 2. Now for the sector 1 for the final time now, as Gary OC is trying to just battle this constant pressure from Icewind. It only goes a bit wide, Icewind, but Gary looks like he actually lost a bit of time compared to Ice there. But Ice is trying everything he can now. He's just literally flooring it. He's got 30% of his ERS left, and oh my god, Filipic on board, he almost lost it then. So that was another one. But Icewind is getting closer to Gary. Well, I think Gary's pulled out a little bit of a gap, so that could save him a little bit. But it looks like as well behind, Dotax and Foob are also battling for the final points position. So just a few fights to keep on board with. But Icewind getting closer to Gary each time as they get up to the final few turns. And I think it's going to be Vegsit who takes the checker flag down under in the season openers. Ingenio gets a 3-second time. So it'll be interesting to see how that one pans out. As we come to the line, as Icewind almost goes into the back of Gary. Oh my god, is Icewind actually going to Gary on the finish line here? I don't think he will, but he is really close. And as we come to the finish line, Vegsit takes victory in Australia and does that. But behind, we've still got another battle going on. Who's going to swing in favour here? Is it in beating Filipic in terms of the penalties going around here, as they now come up to the finish line, and it's going to be Ingenio who gets it. But let's see where Bluxley comes. Will Bluxley jump up to P5 or P4 because of the penalties? And he does not. Oh, he does.
He does jump up to P5.
As Chris finishes P7. Polar Haze. Where is Polar Haze going to finish? I'm not too sure because of his penalties, but he will be closing in on the finish line, and P8 for him. So there we go, Polar Haze in P8, and I'd say that rounds off that race as we just watched the final few guys come across the finish line, and Vegsit completely not dominating that race with great pressure from how do you say, Gary and Icewind all through that race. It was great to see them guys bringing up, but from that wet race as well, that was a great opening race to open the season, and Vegsit carrying on his winning performances into this season, and the top two from last season proving not to disappoint yet again. So it's great to see how those guys got in on each other and did that battle all through the things. So, you know, it honestly is been brilliancy. But yeah, got a few words after that race. We've got a few reports to handle, but yeah, we've got a few guys in the thing, but I'm not gonna see about that at the moment. But I'm gonna say, it's safe to say, I think we'll round it off there, because at the minute I'm pretty too tired to, well, not tired to do interviews, just my voice is hurting a lot. But
I mean,
anyway,
if you want, I can do the interviews.
it's alright, we'll just leave them.
No?
yeah, it's fine. We'll get them on. But it's great to see that race for the season opener and the guys spraying the champagne on the podium. But anyway, we'll be back tomorrow for Tier 2 in Australia, which I believe myself and Itex will be taking part in. So hopefully we get a dry race
Yep.
in some other people's minds to get a wet race. But
Or
anyway,
we can get a full wet race.
if not, I'm jumping into the what do you call it, the reef. Oh god, I forgot the name of the reef now. But anyway, there we go. We shall see you tomorrow, and good night.